Okay, so we're live, Kathy. Week 2 of the Digital Dish.
Yeah, week two. We had a great first week, didn't we?
We did. And I see some of my students here. I see familiar faces and I see new faces. So, hi, everybody.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got 16 people watching, and we had a whole bunch of people that subscribed. So I'm excited. I've actually spoken to a few people that watched our first show on replay, so that's exciting.
Oh, good, good, good. So, this is our theme this week was perfect, and we didn't even know it when we planned it. So, we're talking about mobile and social media and what's the big deal about it. And, Kathy, I mean, I'll let you go first and kind
It's
of.
been it's been oh, Jed Records here. Jed's a good friend.
Hey,
Awesome. Hey
Jen, how are
Jed.
you?
You probably know him. Everyone knows Jed.
Yay, yay, yay.
What a week. I mean, I have to tell you, it's really funny because I started off the week with an article in the Huffington Post about if live video was going to change the way we consume television. And within a day, my article was obsolete. And so, not obsolete, but it was already kind of like I needed to update it because, boom, it was like, I think it was, what is today is Thursday. So, Tuesday, Twitter comes out saying that they've got the rights to stream Thursday Night Football. So all the NFL games on Thursday are going to be streamed on Twitter. And then yesterday, Facebook Live comes, Facebook Live for everyone. Mark Zuckerberg does a live Q&A on Facebook Live. There's huge updates to the platform. It's all about live video. And it's just been like boom, boom, boom. Like just this week has been crazy, crazy amazing to see what's going on in live video. So, woo, woo, live video, I agree. Lisa, you just froze on me. Oh no. Okay, I think you see the refreshing. But what an amazing week. I mean, it just seems like live video has um, it just becomes such a, uh-oh. All right, I'm back, I think. Um, so I guess we're having some issues with Lab today, guys. And that does happen every once in a while. So I'm sorry about that if you guys can still hear me. But hopefully it'll work out. Luckily, there's a media titan here who can handle it. Yeah, Jed, I've never been called a titan. I've been called a kraken. Someone has used to call me a PR kraken. Um, so, but yeah, I was mentioned in an article for Telemundo today about a workshop. I'm actually heading down to Miami today in a few hours for Hispanic Size. So I'm very, very pumped about that. And yeah, live video has been, oh, thank you, Dad. Live video has been front and center. So let's see.
I'm back.
Okay, you're back. I'm not sure what's going on. We'll just make it work.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. Welcome back. Everyone's like, welcome back. Mm-hmm. But what a crazy week when it came to like mobile and live video, and holy smokes, it's just like headline after headline, right?
Right. And it's a huge opportunity if you're a brand and using social media. Mm-hmm. It opens up so many other dimensions where I kind of felt like, okay, it's become so competitive in social media, and how do we stand out in the news feed? How do we make ourselves different? I mean, obviously quality content is, what everybody's saying, but now this gives us a new opportunity, a new adventure, another thing to do. But I think that it's exactly what is a perfect blend when it comes to mobile.
Yeah. And I've noticed that, I mean, I did a video I'm a blogger for the Huffington Post. So I did a video last week. They're launching a parenting series called Talk to Me, which is to facilitate parent-child. Yeah. And I did my little video and it was so much fun. My little almost 6-year-old interviewed me and I got so many views on that live video. It's not even funny. I was like, wow, so it's just fantastic to see how organic it is at this point, that Facebook is really putting a lot of emphasis on live video. So if you're not doing it, people, if you're not doing it here, start doing it. Start thinking about what you're going to be talking about.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, Blab is one example, but there's so many different ways you can use live video. And I mean, Kathy, what are your thoughts on brands adapting to this? I mean, to the couple of clients that I've talked to about it, and we've been encouraging clients to use video for a year, more than a year, like get on it. And now it's like, okay, live video. Scary.
Yeah, live video, which is scary. They're like, oh, I don't know, I'm not ready yet. I think the brands are just going to get more and more comfortable. They're going to see it in the headlines. I'm good friends with the folks at Al Roker Entertainment, and they just had a huge announcement today as well about Roker Media. They're launching a network for content, like a network for content creation and live video platforms. And the way I see it is, the more brands get exposed to this, the more brands start doing this. Oh yeah, let Jen in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The more the brands get exposed to this and get used to it, the better it's going to be for the content creator, for the thought leaders, for those of us in the live video space. So, the more that's out there, the more they get used to it. This is not, Facebook is not going to back down, and this is not going anywhere. So you either embrace it or you get left behind.
Jed, I just made you co-host. He should be coming on. Yeah. Definitely. I think embracing it. And I think for the brands that I've talked to, like I said, they're a little bit sketchy about, okay, we're not really sure if this is for us. How do we do that? They're afraid of what's going to happen. And it's, so I feel like it's such an opportunity because of that.
It's a great opportunity because if you're not going to use it, your competition is going to start using it, and then you're going to be left in the dust. And when I talk to brands, they're like, well, where should I be? Should I be on Periscope? Should I be on Facebook Live? Should I be on YouNow? Basically, the way I see it is, you need to be where your community or your followers are.
Exactly.
So
nothing's really changed there. It's just match the live video to where your audience is.
If your client or your audience is not on that platform, then you probably don't need to put all that time into it. But for example, if you got a big number of people on Facebook, it makes sense. It's symbiotic for you to do live video on Facebook, But if you're more of if your bigger audience is on Twitter, then by all means, Periscope's going to be a lot better for you. If you're trying to grab the millennials, YouNow is the platform for you in that case. So it's really going to depend. And then obviously, once we have YouTube Connect or whatever it's going to be called, that's kind of like everyone goes to YouTube. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see kind of how it plans out. Definitely.
And the other thing I was going to say is, you don't have to be super complicated or detailed when you're doing the live video. So Guy Kawasaki, I love, he makes things so simple, and he could talk about, the most complex things. And he's been doing every Tuesday, I think he's calling it Tech Tuesday, where he just shows people how to do just super simple things on live video. And it's the simplest things, like how to get, how to get yourself off the spam emails and things like that. So you don't need a huge, budget or background, keep things simple and just experiment.
Well, he had a picture yesterday of his Facebook Live setup. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like a ball, because some people have these like crazy gadgets and just like all this.
Yeah.
And I love that. I was like, simplicity.
Right.
It's just, you got to go live and it works. You just put it in a box and you've got your iPad and you go. So I do love Guy when that sets. I think that's fantastic.
We do have a couple of questions here, Kathy. Maybe we should take some of those. So what do you think is the difference between Blab and a live video platform like Periscope?
I think they're very different. I think Blab is a lot more collaborative. It's more about conversations. Periscope is too, but Periscope is more like the one person talking to a whole bunch of people. Whereas I think Blab is really more for having certain types of conversations, very collaborative. Like I said, I see this being used for crisis comm in the future. And I've read a lot of stuff this week saying, okay, because I was like, I can't take this, but people saying Blab is dead or Blab is dying. I don't think Blab is dying at all. They've got to pivot in some ways, their business model or whatever, if that's what they choose to do. But it's a very different platform, I think. So. Yeah,
I agree. And I think with Blab, yay, here's Jed, you made it. Hello.
Hey, finally. Yeah, not sure what's happening.
So with Blab, we can have this talk show feel, / Brady Bunch / Google Hangout. It's a little bit different in it. What do you think, Jed? What's going on in your side of the world?
Well,
with mobile and social.
I popped in right at the right time. So
yeah.
Kathy brought up a great point that there's discussion that Blab is dying, or is Blab going to be around? I think the recent changes to the Blab homepage have made it a little more difficult to discover content on Blab. I'm sure that they have a reason for that. There may have been a recent, they sometimes will have these town hall meetings on Blab. They'll invite people to share about the platform. I wasn't able to attend the most recent one. I think questions may have been answered there. So we'll have to watch that replay. But sure, they have a reason for that, but it's kind of made people a little bit frustrated with their content to be discovered. And I think there is certainly been a decline in the last 2 months of Periscope and Blab broadcasts. And I attribute that to an issue or a concern that I had last year that I had mentioned actually in a Blab like this, that the majority of people who are viewing live streams just really don't have the time that an hour-long Blab or even a 20 or 30-minute Periscope might entail. And when I was in that discussion, I got asked some questions also about Snapchat. I don't want us to derail and get on Snapchat. We all love Snapchat, great. We're not going to get derailed. But the 10 seconds of live video in Snapchat is exactly the amount of time people have when they're waiting in line at Starbucks. Or
I totally agree.
They've got a call.
Very true.
Up.
We can derail to Snapchat, Jed. That's fine. We're talking mobile. We're not just talking Blab, but
yeah, I don't want it to
part
be
of the conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that point that time is a very valuable resource for all of us. And we have to be aware when we are sharing these Blabs and Periscopes that we are taking time away from people. So we better make it valuable, and we better also recognize how can we plan out our content to make it as succinct and to the point as possible, because that's what we do in our marketing messages in writing and in copywriting, and that's what we need to focus on doing in video. I don't think we've matured in live stream enough to get to that point, but that is where it's going. So if you're in a marketing department somewhere producing live content, you need to be thinking, how can we make it succinct? How can we cut to sound bites? How can we share the sound bites, not the entire broadcast? And just watch journalists. They're professional. Ever since I've got involved in this industry, I've always told people, watch journalists, learn from journalists. They've been doing this longer than anybody. And I've been getting a lot of mixed feedback with that. But
I have to agree with you, Jed. I worked in journalism. I used to do live television. And when you're there, you've only got a couple of seconds. Boom, you got to get your message across. And I always tell people that think like a journalist.
Yeah,
totally.
Any media format, whether it's written, any content format, it was written or visual or video, it has always been the case. And we've got to focus on that, even though the platforms are not yet mature. As marketers, we need to be mature about what we're doing when we're producing content.
I think from a social media standpoint, the perfect blend is to balance the journalism aspect and the public relations aspect, but heavier on the journalism aspect, because the public relations aspect, is too much into perfection and very lengthy, where the journalism aspect is exactly what you're talking about, Jed. And that brings me to a question. So what are your thoughts on how Instagram expanded, increased number of seconds from the short form video to make now your videos longer? So what do you think about that? I kind of felt like I liked it at the shorter version.
Yeah, I kind of like the shorter. So I'm with you on that. And I think also, just like Twitter and Snapchat, these constraints on time or characters or whatever, these constraints breed creativity. And so I was actually quite happy with the length of time on Instagram. And we'll just have to wait and see. I think it gives you a lot of time to be creative with a minute, but I think that's very hard to do, to use that full minute and have that creativity shine throughout the entire. A minute is a long time, people.
I think it's going to really change the beauty of Instagram.
It is a long time on Instagram.
That's a long time on Instagram.
It's like the opposite of Insta is 1 minute.
So
when I get a snap and it's like 10 seconds, I'm like, this is a long snap.
Yeah, yeah.
Our tolerance. But I have to agree with you, Jed. I think you're right on point when it comes to being succinct. And, I try to keep when I do Periscope or when I do something like that, I try to keep it down to 15 minutes max of what I'm saying. I try to get straight to the point, introduce myself and just get straight to the point. And I think that brands are going to have to really think about that, especially because what we don't want to see, and this is what I hear from my friends who are not into live video, they're like, I don't want to be getting, notifications every time someone's live. I hate that. They're turning it off. And they're like, if you're going to share something with me, make it quick. And I think brands are going to have that same pressure when it comes to sharing content, branded content.
Yeah, absolutely. And on Instagram, yeah, I know there was this brief moment in time, everybody was saying, turn on notifications. That is ridiculous. In fact, I would encourage people, turn on notifications if you like it, but don't tell them to turn on notifications just to turn on your brand. Because you can get, I wouldn't want anybody to have notifications from me. I post 4 times a day to Instagram. You don't need to be notified every time I post. You will be blocking me or unfollowing me. You don't need to, because every day you would get 4 push notifications from me on your phone, and that would get old really fast. So I hope my content speaks for itself in that people will see my content and enjoy it, engage with it, and if they missed it, they know because I'm consistent. They know that I have been putting that content out, and they can click on my name and say, well, I haven't seen any pics from Jed. Let's go check out Jed's Instagram. And so, yeah, and to harp on the 1 minute one more time, I don't feel like I gave it a strong enough jab yet. I don't know what the 1 minute was for, because the content folks, the people creating really great creative content on Instagram, they don't need a minute. And I've yet to see anybody creatively produce a minute-long Instagram that was super interesting, with the exception of advertisers who are putting.
Well, there's a reason. The sweet spot in video is 15 seconds. So where does the 1 minute come from? It doesn't make sense at all.
I hope that was not a feature that was put in to benefit advertisers.
Guess what? I'm sure it was.
Because I would love to see features developed for the platform for the users, and I didn't see users wanting a minute of video, and I don't want to see a minute.
I was completely shocked by that. I have a question from Lindsay Crown. Hi, Lindsay. So, do you think pre-recorded content will become obsolete in comparison to live video streaming, even with these technical issues? So I don't think pre-recorded video is going to become obsolete. What do you two think?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. So I actually like what were we calling it yesterday? I was interviewed yesterday about live streaming and how, it was near real time. So that Snapchat is not live streaming, it's near real time. And I actually argue that near real time is better than real time in many situations, because you can edit it and you don't have to get all of the periphery, all of the extra. And so recorded video really benefits at providing just the succinct sound bites that you're looking to hear. And live, you just can't do that. It's just very difficult to do that. So yeah, I think there will always be opportunity. And people have not stopped scanning YouTube for fun stuff to watch. So that will continue. YouTube will continue to replace the television. And that's a great, great place for well-produced video content that spans beyond, a few minutes.
I see YouTube and Facebook as being almost the library of where all of the live video that can be recorded is going to be housed.
Well, Facebook's going to have to do a better job at indexing their content, because it is not a library. Once it's gone through your feed, it's very difficult to find that content again. So I would love to see Facebook spend more time on people being able to rediscover content from a few months ago. I have some great posts just so happens they were a couple months ago. Nobody will ever
Well,
see them again.
supposedly Facebook is working on that from a search standpoint, so we'll see. That supposedly is
They have a long
one of
ways to
their
go in search. I've been very
priorities.
disappointed with it.
Kathy, what do you think?
I think there's always going to be space for pre-produced for pre-recorded post-produced content. I still, we still are all going to eventually, when we, at least in my case, when I try to fix something or there's something I want to know, I'll go to YouTube and type in how to do whatever, and I'll watch the video, and I think that there's still, a lot of space for that. I think in the live video space, the conversation is whether a YouTuber is necessarily going to be very good at live. And some will be, some will not. It's going to depend. It's going to depend. And I do want to call out something on the side. Jay Hunter, I don't mean any ill will, and I'm glad you're watching this with your students in English. So that's fantastic. I just think that, I think we prefer having, someone that has a picture in their blab if they're going to call in. So that's all I'm going to say. And so not everyone can like you. So,
So here, let's just switch gears now to Snapchat. Here's a Snapchat question. So do you think Snapchat will change their Discover feature to incorporate live videos from brands? This is from Stella Heekin. And hi, Stella. Right now, it's pre-recorded content. What are your thoughts on Snapchat Discover?
And so there are two parts to that question. Will Snapchat do more in terms of content discovery? Yes, I think it will. Will it do more to help people discover content from brands? I hope not.
Right.
I hope it'll help us discover just good content.
Right.
And if the brand's producing it, great, but hopefully it's people producing it. And I think that they already have a fantastic discover feature for brands, and that's in the stories. So just swipe left if you want to see some brand stories. You can discover all you want right there. So I think that is very discoverable content, and they charge a premium for that, and the brands get the value. I've spoken to brand managers at the brands advertising there, and they get their value for sure, and then some. So BuzzFeed just re-upped. They're getting a ton of content through those Discover channels on Snap. So yes, they will help you discover more content in the future. Don't look for it right away, but brands are already able to get discovered. Just write the check.
Just write the check. I have to agree with you.
You get a nice little circle.
Write the check.
And keep adding those circles to the check. I think it's just going to become more and more as it becomes so in demand, and everybody is now just, it seems like, so obsessed with Snapchat from all the different small to large brand standpoint. So we only have a couple more minutes. We started a couple minutes late. We have about 5 more minutes just to keep it to 30 minutes. What else should we cover here? And if there's any questions, Kathy, that you see, or Jed, you want to add anything?
Well, I definitely want to add, because I'm heading down to Miami to Hispanic Size, and I want to talk about that for a second, because it's huge. It's the biggest gathering of Latino social media influencers and content creators, and it's huge. It's like 5,000 people. And the questions and everything that's coming out of there are fantastic. And, I'm hopefully going to be writing some articles about it. But, from the cultural perspective, everything that's going on and how many people are actually using Snapchat. And so I don't know. I'm just really excited about the possibilities of everything that's coming down the pike from, because I'm Hispanic. So from that cultural marketing perspective, I'm very excited about what's coming down. So
you'll have to fill us in next week.
Yeah, I am too. I completely agree. And I think that live video is going to play a really huge impact in Latin America and in a number of other countries where the infrastructure is not as strong as in Western countries or in the US. And so mobile devices are going to play a huge role in how people communicate. And I've been advising some media outlets in Latin America. So Kathy, we're going to have to get together in San Diego.
I'm not going to be there. Oh, because I'm like 4 weeks away from giving birth. So like Phil and all my friends at Social Media Examiner, they wish I was there, but not even if you gave me a private jet could I make it. So.
I wouldn't let you. I wouldn't let you, Kathy. That would be way too dangerous.
That's too dangerous.
I'm not going to be there either, Jet. So you'll have to celebrate for both of us. You'll have to have
deal here, guys.
Oh.
Okay.
I
Each
know.
other in Boston, right? Kathy and Lisa. I don't know if we've met.
I
Maybe
feel like we
Chicago,
have.
Lisa?
Maybe Chicago, but
Okay.
I mean, with social, it's all the same. But yeah, if you're ever in Orlando or the state of Florida, that's where Kathy and I both are. We could somehow meet up with you.
I just put my family on a plane tomorrow down to go down to Fort Myers for vacation, and I have to work, so I got to stay here. But I'm doing some work in Miami with some big media outlets in Latin America, in Brazil, and Mexico. And so, Kathy, you and I will be having a
Definitely,
powwow.
let's chat. Let's chat. I speak Spanish and Portuguese, so I'd be happy to kind of help you with anything.
Well, it's media and how social and other digital channels are going to impact them. So yes, I will collaborate with you in Spanish-speaking issues, but primarily for your knowledge in those areas.
Hit me up.
In the digital space. So,
it's exciting. I mean, it's really exciting, and I think sometimes we're very U.S. focused. And I've really made an effort this year to kind of open up my horizons towards Latin America and kind of how social is being used there, as well as Spain. So,
yeah, super important. So I'm teaming up with somebody in Spain and starting a podcast in the upcoming months called Marketing Without Borders.
Oh, that's so cool.
Maybe we'll have you on there and we can talk about that. So same thing. We're really trying to emphasize the fact that when you're digital marketing, you're marketing to a global audience, whether that's your goal or target or not, you are. So be aware of that and don't miss out on those opportunities.
Totally agree.
Awesome. Okay, well, on that note, I think we're going to sign off. Jed, it was so awesome having
you so much
with
for having
us.
Me. I enjoyed
Thanks
it. Yeah,
joining us.
Great to see you.
And we'll meet up. If anything, we'll be here next Thursday at 12 o'clock. And Kathy will be in Miami. Will you be live from Miami?
Yes,
next week.
Definitely will.
See? Okay.
So
you can fill it.
Okay.
All righty. Okay. Well,
I'll
thanks.
put it on my calendar.
Bye.
Guys.
Thank you.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.